Meir also is here, right? Meir, Baruch, you here? Yeah. Okay. So good. So today, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will learn. This is important topic, I think. Um, I heard people ask sometime what is means kashrut, right? Because today we can say about something that is not kosher or it is kosher, and it can mean many, many, many different topic. Today, I will try to explain. There is a topic called Dvarim Asurim Mishum Sakana. It means basically that there is no Torah prohibition for the food itself, and maybe there is no also a rabbinical prohibition. The Torah prohibition or the rabbinical prohibition is you're not allowed to eat this thing because it can be dangerous. And we will see Be'ezrat Hashem also the distinction between dangerous that is a medical dangerous or something that Chazal says is dangerous. Like you can call it more like a mystical dangerous. You understand what I mean? And this is apply not just to Hilchot Kashrut. This important understanding can be also, for example, in Hilchot Milah. For example, 2 days ago, I will tell you if I give a little bit more details about those kind of things, somebody feel that is bother him, so tell me. But this is what jumped to my head because it just happened to me. 2 days ago, I went to, I don't know how most Mohalim do in Canada, but here many Mohalim, we doing the Brit, and the day after you go to take out the Tachboshet. How do you say Tachboshet? Somebody knows how to say Tachboshet? Like the Band-Aid, it's not the Band-Aid, like what you put on the after there is any injury or something, so they put something like a Band-Aid or something. What?
Where's the bandage?
Bandage? What?
Gauze?
Oh, gas. Yeah.
The dressing.
Gaza in Hebrew. Okay.
Gaza.
Okay. So you need to take it out. So there is a place called Em Vayeled. It's like after the woman she give birth. So there is a place that you can stay for a few days. When they take care about the baby and everything. So I went there, and another father came to me and he asked me, "Are you a mohel?" I said yes, and he asked me, "Can you check my baby? He has kind of infection in the eyes, if we can do a brit or not." This is considered a question. This is just example before about something that it's normally we go after that to a doctor to check if it's an infection or not. But the question, it's not a medical, it's a halachically medical. Why? Because you can go to a doctor to ask him if there is infection or not. So a doctor will tell you if it's an infection or a different thing. But if you will ask the doctor if there is any problem to do a brit for that, he will say there is no problem. There is no connection between doing a circumcision and a small problem of infection in the eyes. But the halacha said that you're not allowed to do a brit if you have any problem with the eyes, because Chazal said that sometimes there is a connection between the eyes and the heart, and I have no idea. Okay, so we are not doing a brit if the Rofeh said there is a problem in the eyes, even if the Rofeh said there is a problem, but they have nothing to do. Like you can do a brit. We got what I mean. This is called, like, I call it rabbinical dangerous things. For example, another example can be like to eat meat and fish together. So we will go to see all those kind of things from the beginning, from the Torah and everything. So we will read Be'ezrat Hashem. Baruch, you have it? The Rambam? You got it? Good. So we will read from the Rambam. The Rambam is in הלכות רוצח ושמירת הנפש, פרק י"א, like chapter 11, הלכה א'. בכבוד.
It is a positive commandment for a man to build a guardrail for his roof, as it says in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 8, and you shall make a guardrail for your roof. This applies with regard to building used as a dwelling.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, good. I just give after the details. So, the Rambam bring us, there is a pasuk in the Torah, ועשית מעקה לגגיך ולא תשים דמים בביתך כי יפול הנופל ממנו. So the Torah said, it's a, like really the Oraita, that if a person has a roof, and if you go to the details, there's a roof that people use it and people go to that roof, you should have, how do you call it? Guardrail? Yeah. Why? Basically, the reason is that people not will fall from it. Okay, so we have a source in the Torah that a person need to do to take care that people not will have danger from his own thing, and is the Oraita. Now the Rambam bring us detail about specifically about the house, when you need, when you're not, and so on, and we will jump to halacha daled, like 4, and now the Rambam basically, you can, yeah, go ahead. You found it?
Yep. This requirement applies to a roof and similarly to any place that might present a danger and cause a person to stumble and die. Continue?
Yeah.
For example, if a person has a well or a cistern in his courtyard, he must erect a sand with 10 handbreadths high around them, or make a cover for them so that a person will not fall in and die. Similarly, it is a positive mitzvah to remove any obstacle that could pose a danger to life and be very careful regarding these matters. As Deuteronomy 4, verse 9 states, beware for yourself and guard your soul. If a person leaves dangerous obstacle and does not remove it, he negates the observance of a positive commandment and violates a negative commandment. Do not cause blood to be spilled.
Thank you very much. So in that halacha, this is basically the introduction for after that when we will go to the details of specifically of food. But the sources from the Torah talks about anything that can be danger for you, for others. A person has a lo ta'aseh, like a lav, av lo tasim damim bevetecha. We're not allowed to do anything that can cause life danger. And also aseh ishamer lecha ushmor nafshecha, what we know as איך אנחנו קוראים לזה שכל הדברים שהם למה צריך לשמור על הנפש, למה צריך לשמור על הגוף, איך קוראים לפסוק? להתמשקע. The most famous sources for that, the Rambam didn't brought it, but here is ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם. Do you heard about this source? Right? ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם? Meir, you heard about it? No? So I thought in Israel people know this source as that, but maybe I need to say it in Ashkenazi tune and it will be, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure I know how to do it correct. So there is a pasuk says "V'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem," that we need to really be careful for our soul, meaning not to do anything that can cause dangers to us. And it's the Oraita, okay? It's like, it's not a rabbinical thing. It's a really written in the Torah, and the Rambam brought here 2 sources to tell us. And this is interesting. When the Torah wants to tell us something is important, there is few ways to say that. One of the ways is that if you did it, you passed 2 laws, meaning you have, I forgot the words we used for that. We talked about that there is a positive law, there is a positive command and a negative command, correct? And here we saw, Baruch just read it, that if a person did something dangerous for himself, like really dangerous, so he passed a positive command and also a negative command, both. And even when we go to the punishment and so on, you have both. Like it's basically two aveiros. Okay, this is when the Torah tries to tell us that something is important. Okay, now the Rambam will continue. Chavod 5. הרבה דברים.
Our sages forbade many matters because they involve a threat to life. Whenever a person transgresses these guidelines, saying, I will risk my life, what does this matter to others? Or I am careful about these things, he should be punished by stripes for rebelliousness. I'm guessing he means whipping.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the Rambam here said that we will see the following, and after we will talk about things that change and so on. But there is many things Chazal said it's prohibited, we're not allowed to do, to eat, and so on. And the only reason behind is just because of danger. Okay? And even if a person will say, if all the reason is just dangerous, so I don't care, why you care? The Rambam said it doesn't work like that. There is a halacha prohibition for that. And if a person will do it, so on that time they were given lashes. So if a person will do it, he will get lashes like he passed a rabbinical, and so on. Now we will see a little bit of like few examples of what the Rambam brought.
Okay.
By the way, if somebody wants, there is here people that also prefer to follow from in, like you prefer to sit. You want me to send a link, for example, to this from Sefaria? If you prefer to, you have it like in Hebrew and English. You send it in a group. My wife will send in a group because we will receive few halachot here in chapter 11, and after that few halachot in chapter 14, and we will go to the Shulchan Aruch and we will see the differences because this is something interesting that here specifically there is. Yeah, no, now, yeah, send both. But right now the Rambam and after that also you can send, yeah, send also the Shulchan Aruch will open like in a few minutes also the Shulchan Aruch. No, Kuf Tet Zayin. Yeah. If you want, my wife sent it on the group. If you want to open it by meanwhile, like under, I don't know. Now the examples. The Rambam at 6, he said, Muhammad.
They include a person should not place his mouth over a conduit through which water flows and drinks, nor should he drink at night from rivers and lakes, lest he swallow a leech without seeing. Similarly, a person should not drink water that has been left uncovered, lest a snake or other poisonous thing, crawling animal, might have drunk from them, and as a result, the person would die.
Thank you very much. So the Rambam here brought us few examples, and one of the examples, it's not famous, but if you want, you can, after, I will not go to all those details, but the Rambam, the Tur, all the Poskim, all the rabbis, like the Gemara brought it down. It's like, it has huge foundation in the halacha that one of the example is we're not allowed even to drink, they were not allowed even to drink water that was exposed or uncovered even for a short period of time. Why? Because maybe a poisonous animal, I don't know, drank from it and lived the poison. This is very important to understand even the subject. Do you remember we talk about cheese and milk? The difference, like that Chazal said, you're not allowed to buy from non-Jews. And we talk about the differences between a suspicious and offense. And when what? That was English, right?
Sorry.
Okay. So here we have an example that the Rambam will give us details and so on. In short, is everything like few, like I don't know, wine, water, and few other things if they were exposed, and we're not allowed to drink. And nowadays I will talk about it later, things change. But now I will continue with the Rambam. Just a second. אשום שנתרסק, Okay, we'll jump. The Rambam here give us details and details and details. Now we'll go to chapter 12. If somebody wants to follow, so it's the same place in the Rambam, but chapter 12, halacha 1, like the first one, halacha aleph. בכבוד, בהמה חיה או עוף.
When an animal, a beast or a fowl, has been bitten by a snake or another poisonous animal, or it ate a poison that could kill a person, and the nature of the poison has not changed the animal's body, it is forbidden to partake of meat from that animal because of the deadly danger involved. Continue?
Yeah.
For this reason, if an animal, a beast or a fowl, was found with its feet cut off, although it is permitted and not considered taref because its feet were cut off, it is forbidden because of the possible danger unless it is checked, because of the possibility that a poisonous crawling animal bit it.
Yeah, good, thank you. And after that he will say how, and this is not. So the Rambam here give us an example. I think first nice example. And in Hot Refot, the Shulchan Aruch also brought it down. Sometimes if you have cats at the legs, not all the places make it tarif. But the Rambam said, if you don't know what's happened to the animal, you just see an animal has cut, like the leg is cut, so you're not allowed to eat it because sometimes it can happen from some animal that tried to eat it and start to eat it and didn't finish, and maybe it can be a danger for a human being. And this will be like, nowadays they will call it not kosher, but the reason is here the Rambam, it's also interesting. We will see after that. The Rambam, he was very I think you say it rational. Like the Rambam don't have mysticals things in the halachot. Like every mystical thing that the Gemara said, if he brought it down, he will give a rational explanation for that. Okay, we will see a few examples. So the Rambam, the only things he said it's prohibited, you will see things that you can really understand what is the problem with, and it's become like not kosher nowadays. There is other, like not nowadays, also on that time, there were many rabbis that do brought things that they say it's dangerous because of a mystical things, and this is also went in. So here it's very interesting. We talk about it like I think a few months ago, so I will explain all the subject again. A second. Similarly, Chavod. Go ahead.
Similarly, if figs, grapes, zucchini, squash, watermelons, and cucumbers have holes, they are forbidden, lest a snake or another poisonous animal may have bitten them. This applies even if produce was very large and regardless of whether it was still growing or detached. Because even if it was placed within a container, as long as it has moisture and it is discovered that it was bitten, it is forbidden. If one saw a bird or a rat sitting and making holes in the fruit, it is still forbidden. Perhaps they made a hole in the place of an existing hole.
Thank you very much. So in short, the Rambam said you saw fruit and vegetables, some kind of them, without the details, and you saw that something start to eat from it, and there is a hole and so on. So you say maybe that a snake or other poisonous insect or whatever, they ate from it, and maybe they leave poison. Okay, but here the Rambam said very important. The Gemara said that, and the Rambam brought it down. Very important rule that calls basically Chamira Sakanta Meisura. Do you heard about that? So Chamira Sakanta Meisura means that, first of all, we say what he said, and I will tell you the name of the law, and it has many nafkaminot, many cases that this rule is important. So the Rambam say
Practical
like that.
implications.
Thank you very much. The Rambam say, even if you maybe you will read it again. Even if I will try. Even if one saw bird or rat sitting and making holes in the fruit, it is still prohibited. Why? Because maybe like you saw the bird, for example, make, like, again, you see like a bird drinking, or I don't know, eating from the fruit. Okay, so normally, if if now the bird it eats from the fruit, so most percentages I will assume that who make the hole? The bird itself, right? Will be the way of thinking normally in the Torah. If it will be, and I will give you after that example. But here, Chazal said, even that, let's make it in percentages, 99%, the bird start to eat. The bird is eating right now. The bird make the hole. No, because you have small percentages that maybe the beginning was from a snake or from a dangerous insect, and maybe after that, like now you see the bird eating, maybe it came to a place that already has a hole in it. Okay, and you're not allowed. Why is interesting? Because we talked about that, but in Hilchot Refot and normally in Hilchot Kashrut, normally in most cases of the laws, if you have most percentages that is kosher, even not a huge most percentages, so sometimes kosher. For example, there is very closer example to that. If we have a hole in the lung, you slaughter a sheep, you open the sheep, you take out the lungs, and you saw there is a hole in the lungs. So normally, what will be the status of that sheep? Kosher or taref? Somebody know? Not good, right? Good. Why? Because you have a hole in the lungs, right? So now, what will be the case if before you had the time to check it, a dog came, or I don't know which animal, and they took the lungs and they run with that? You want your lungs, or you want to check it or whatever, you run after the dog, you took the lungs, and you have many holes inside, even much more than the holes he has in his tooth, because maybe he beat it a few times, right? So you see holes in the lungs. So there, the Shulchan Aruch, the Rambam, everyone, they say it's kosher, because most percentages, like, it's that who make the holes? The dog. You saw the dog bite the lung, so most percentages he did it. But here, when we go into that case here, that the case say that you saw, it's like almost exactly the same. You understand the cases? It's like exactly the same. We have here a fig that a bird he is eating right now. He is like which word they use? Figs. What?
Pecking?
Yeah. Again?
Pecking.
Pecking. Yeah. Thank you. You see the bird pecking, and most percentages it should be that he did it. It did it. Okay. And here the halacha said, no, it's prohibited. Why? Because maybe a snake did it at the beginning. And when we go to Ilchot Refot, so there the Gemara, the Rambam, and everyone, they say, if you saw the dog took the lungs out, and now you see holes in it, even more holes than the holes he has in for more than the tooth he has, it's okay. So the question is, what is the difference? Okay, why here it's almost exactly the same case.
Can I try? Because I think I know what the difference is. With the lungs, you can assume that the animal is kosher unless you see contrary evidence because the lungs are punctured. But that's not the case. We said that with the fruit, if it's been left out, you have to assume that it's not kosher because maybe a poisonous animal bit it. So the presumption is it's not kosher, and even if you see a kosher animal pecking at it, you still have to assume that the original reason. You still have to be concerned of the original possibility that it's not kosher. I don't think I
understand what
you
say, but if I understand you correctly, so I will say like that. Both options, I have no idea. Like their status before the problem is good, is okay. A fig is kosher. A grapes is kosher. And also an animal, after you sheft it correctly, considered kosher till you will find a problem. So basically, both status considered the same. And here, in both cases, you see a hole, you see who is making it right now. Here, you say, even though I am seeing the bird eating and basically he's eating from the hole, I say no, maybe was a snake before. And when I see the lungs, there is many lungs that do has problems and so on. This is why we are checking it. But when you see the dog took it out and bite it, and now you see many holes, even more holes than the tooth he has, you say, I assume most percentages he did it, even though that maybe was a hole before and he put his tooth inside. So I will tell you here, there is a halachically law that will apply in many others, difference of doubts, and it's important to know it. And here is basically the source. And you will see like many times in the halacha, those kind of things. There is law that say, Chamira sakanta meisura. Chamira sakanta meisura. Somebody here knows Hebrew well and can translate maybe better than me.
Danger is worse than prohibition.
My wife said dangerous is worse than a prohibition or something like that. Meaning, Chazal saying like that. Look, if you have, you know the word chamur, more severe. If you have a case of a danger, is all the time more severe than if it's just a halacha, even if it's a Torah prohibition. Okay. The Torah said, if you have a doubt in let's make the most understandable case. If you have two pieces of a kosher meat mixed with one piece of a non-kosher meat, and you don't know to recognize, generally, what will be the halacha for that? Do you remember? You have, I will make it maybe easier than that. If what's called 160, I think this is the most famous one. If you have a pot with food inside, kosher, and by mistake, a piece of a not kosher thing, a piece of even a pig fall inside, mixed up in your cholent, you cannot recognize it. And it's rush, so it is ratio if it's less than 160, right? Or yeah, right. Correct? This is famous. Correct? We know it. What will be the case if it's poison? 100% poison. I don't know which name of how do you say the poison that Hitler and all the Nazis they had in their mouth? I heard
Cyanide.
Cyanide, yeah.
Thank you very much. What will be the case if cyanide fall inside, you can't recognize it, and it's less than 160? What do you think will be should be the halacha? What will be the answer? No, right? It's not good. So this is what basically Chazal said. All the laws that we are saying in halacha things are not applied the same when it comes to danger. Because Hashem said in the Torah, you need to, a danger is more severe even than when you eat, for example, something that Hashem said is not kosher. Okay? If you have a case of something mixed, if a pig mixed, or if a cyanide, whatever you call it, mix, a danger is more severe, even halachically. Okay? Even if a person say, I don't care. Hashem said, you will have a prohibition of making danger to yourself. Our soul not belongs to us or something like that. Hashem brought us to our world. We need to take care on ourselves, and this is a Torah command. Okay? And more than that, even when you will say, okay, I don't care about myself. Look how the halacha think about doubts. Okay? So I will think about danger the same as the halacha think about doubt. I will say it's ratio in 160. So no, if it's really dangerous is more severe. This why here they thought maybe there is on that time. Nowadays it will be different, but at that time, according to the example they gave in Chazal, they really lived in, I don't know, in a place that has so many snakes and so many dangerous insects. So if you have a doubt of dangers, you will take it more severe than if it was a doubt of taref and so on. It's clear, right? It's important to know that. Now, I will go to Daled, like 4. Another few examples of things that Chazal said, don't do it because of dangers, and it's really brought down in the halacha. Like I said, you have so many talks and disagreement and agreements between the rabbis about those kind of things, but Chazal did talk about this a lot. You have a siman in the Shulchan Aruch in few places. Bechavod. 4. Asur is...
There. It is forbidden for a person to place coins or dinarim in his mouth, lest there be remains of a dried spittle from a leper, or a metzorah, or sweat on them. For all sweat from a person is like poisonous venom, except for sweat from one's face.
Yeah, I think those kind of things, Baruch Hashem, in Canada, that everything is clean and people are normal, so those kind of things are obvious. I don't know how much they were obvious like back in the time, even a few hundred years ago, and maybe even now if you go to third world places. Basically, and I see that the Rambam didn't brought down this example, so I will tell you that what the Shulchan Aruch said. The Rambam said, you're not allowed to put money, basically the coins, inside your mouth. Why? Basically, it's dirty. It's dirty. Yeah. And maybe, in our words, I think it will be, maybe you have, how do you say, how you will explain to a person why not to put those disgusting things in your mouth? What you will say today? Bacteria, yeah, or those kind of things. And that time they used different reasons, but they understood basically that's important, the cleanliness and not those kind of things. And also the Rambam said that sweat of a person, you're not allowed to eat it, basically. If you want disgusting examples, but you can go to third world and you will see these kind of things. I think people that know, I thought if it's normal to say it, but if you know me already and you know this is my ways, I was in places like that, so it reminds me Egypt. Sorry for the Egyptians that here, but Baruch Hashem nobody, so I can feel free. The Shulchan Aruch brought down, I just will say it here because it's connected to that, that if you have sweat on a food, you're not allowed to eat it. Okay? Another very weird example is that sometimes people, I don't know if you saw in some countries or maybe in movies and so on, when they try to carry so many things on themselves and they put so many things on their head, in their hands, and so on. Do you saw those kind of things? So it's brought down in the halacha, but you can, I don't know. The Shulchan Aruch said, it's so obvious in Canada, but the Shulchan Aruch said, if somebody put a bread, how do you say here?
Armpit.
Armpit.
Thank you so much. If somebody put a bread there, even for a short period of time, you're not allowed to eat this bread. Why? Because of the sweat, they call it dangerous or whatever, or disgusting and so on. But nowadays, it's not will be in Canada. This is just was examples of things that I think obvious for anyone. We'll see another examples, and I will go to the Shulchan Aruch. The last one is.
I mean, I'd like to ask a quick question. Look, I understand that a sweat from a person's underarm is very gross, and you wouldn't want to eat it because it's unhygienic and disgusting. But is it really like in the same category as poisonous that you can die from it?
Maybe it's the time. It's a very good question, first of all, and I think maybe it's the time a little bit to explain about, in general, what they call dangerous and so on. So we don't have a lot of time right now. I will say first of all my beliefs, and in short, because there is other rabbis has different way of approach to those kind of things. It's not just my belief that Magen Avraham brought it down in Kufayin Gimel and so on, but I will jump on the sources because of the time. I understood like that. Like again, like I said, there is sources for that in the Rambam and many other rabbis from 1,000 years ago, but there is a different approach. The Torah said you need to take care of yourself, not to do dangerous things to yourself. Okay, this is what Hashem said. Now, the Gemara, the Chachamim at that time, they went to the doctor or to the person that at that time was the people that knew what is dangerous and what is not. Okay, this is the Torah, meaning Hashem didn't say. Hashem said you're not allowed to do dangerous things to yourself, and you need to make sure you're taking care about yourself and so on. Now the Gemara went to the doctor around, and the Gemara asked, and like the Chazal at that time asked, what is dangerous? Okay, or they ask, that case is dangerous or not? And if the doctor says it's dangerous to yourself, like really danger, so you're not allowed to do it. The problem is that the medical approach changed a lot at the 3,000 years ago by following. And if you follow the rabbis like 1,000, like 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, you will see different laws about that because the medical like really changed, right? The people like humanity, we learned a lot about what is dangerous and what is not, and I think we knows a lot, much more nowadays. You can agree with that or not, but I think most of you agree with that, right? You will prefer to go to a doctor nowadays and not to go to a doctor, to a shayman of like 2,000 years ago, even if they had things that they were very, very smart. But nowadays we had a little bit more option of like the science, like, you know, approved and so on. This is something we all agree about, right? So the thing will be when Chazal told you something is dangerous, and nowadays the doctor told you it's not dangerous at all. Okay? Sometimes they can say about something, I assume, they didn't know anything about bacteria like 2,000 years ago, correct? Even much after. Now, I don't know if they knew how to recognize between something that is very dangerous or something that you see that if you don't keep. I didn't check the history of medical about that, but I did saw that Chazal, even 2,000 years ago, they try to teach a lot about being clean, and they understood that it can be dangerous if not. Okay, some people say that it shows a very smart. Even before the time people heard about bacteria and so on, and I heard again, if it's correct or not, I didn't check. People say that that on the time of איך אומרים באבואות שחורות? Black. Did you heard about a disease that was in Europe like a few hundred years ago, and many
The
people died?
The Black Plague.
Thank you very much. On the time of the Black Plague, I heard again, didn't check it, that people blame the Jews. They say, how come there is less? You heard about that, or it's just something
Yes.
in Israel? Okay.
No, it's quite well known.
Good. And why? Because basically Chazal, even 2,000 years ago, even if they didn't knew exactly what is bacteria and what is so on, they really, like you see here, the halachot, we are reading Rambam like 800 years ago, and he brought down Gemara like 1,500 years ago, that try to teach people about how much is important to eat things that they are clean. You need to wash your hands before. If you have sweat on your bread, you're not allowed to eat it, even if you wash it. And you're not allowed to put, like we saw right now, you're not allowed to put coins in your mouths and so on. And this is helps the Jews. If they knew exactly about what is bacteria, I don't know, but in general, they understood it is important to be clean, like how we are right now. So, this is answer your question or not?
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Another halacha, Vav 6. Yeah, go ahead.
Similarly, one should not stick a knife into an etrog or into a radish, lest a person fall on its point and die. Similarly, it is forbidden for a person to pass under a wall that is leaning, or over a shaky bridge, or enter into a ruin. Similarly, it is forbidden to enter all other places that are dangerous for these or other reasons.
Good. If you have the Shulchan Aruch, so we'll continue the Shulchan Aruch, but first of all, Shulchan Aruch Kuftet Zayin, I think you got the link if you want, and I will explain about that. Here is very simple. What we're seeing here is really halachot about that. Even if a person say, I don't care, Hashem said, Chazal said, you need to take care about yourself. You're not allowed to go to inside, I don't know, houses that are in danger, to go under a breed in danger. And by the way, about this knife, those kind of halachot, I got a bad cat from that. I just remember now. I learned nikul. You know what is nikul means? Nikul is like in shchita. You have few levels of learning. So one of the things is to learn about all the fat and nerves and so on that are prohibited, and to know where they are in the body of the animal and to take it out. Okay. So this is called nikul. Just a second. Sorry, you hear me? Oh, good. So this is called nikul. So what's happened to me? Okay. I remember the rabbi all the time said, don't put, so we had pieces of meat and we need to take the nerves and so on. So the rabbi said all the time, don't put knife under meat, because like when you want to take a piece of meat and you don't know there is a knife under, and you just don't have time, you just want to grab it and the knife is under, and the knife are really sharp, so you can get like a really bad cut here. And to avoid those kind of problem, this is what the Rambam talks here. Now we'll go to the Shulchan Aruch, and we will see very important change about basically the halacha, and we will explain about how come things do change and we are not reform, right? We are Orthodox, and this is even the Shulchan Aruch a few hundred years ago. Why some kind of things we do change and some not, and a little bit time we do have. So the Shulchan Aruch say bechavod.
And Aleph?
Yeah.
Okay. Exposed beverages were forbidden by the rabbis because they feared that snakes would have drunk from them and left behind venom. But now, when snakes are not found amongst us, it is permitted.
Good. So if you really put a lot of time about this sugya, you will see there is Gemara in many details. We skip most of it, like you saw, even in the Rambam, that the Rambam tried to make it short. There is many disagreement and details and so on about the water and how many time and which kind of exposed and which kind of liquid and so on and many details. And they all said it's prohibited. The Shulchan Aruch came and said, nowadays there is no snakes, is okay. So how come? If Chazal said it's prohibited, so Chazal said they knew, and that's it. We need to keep it. We're Orthodox. Why here the halacha in like change? So you got the question, right? Is I think an important question. So in short, there is even a nice tshuva in Yabia Omer about that, explained it widely. In short, is like that. There is a difference between offense, again, and how do you say it?
A concern.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm really tired, and I realize that when you're tired, the brain is not working. I feel that it's half. I thought I would go to sleep yesterday early, didn't work, but you know. Okay. So there is a concern, thank you very much, and there is a fans. And this is one of the answers. And the rabbi that holds like that, they say, here is Chazal told you what is the problem. Chazal said, look, don't drink water, like exposed water, because maybe a snake or something drink from it and it can cause danger. But nowadays that we do not have snakes around us so often, and Des told me that in British Columbia you even don't have dangerous snakes at all. Thanks Hashem. Here in Israel we do have. We have the one called Sefa. I saw it a few times in my life, and I had like a neighbor. He knows how to catch them, even though they are poisonous. You know, with his hands. You saw people how they do it. Like he just really. I remember he just came like here. He just hold it here like that, and I don't know how he was not afraid. But I saw it a few times in my life. So we do have here in Israel. But we don't have it like really around us so often that you will think even about the water. You know what I mean? You can see snakes here and there, one in few years or a month, depends where you live. So because we do not have them right today, so this concern just not apply, and that's it. Meaning, the Torah didn't change. The Torah said you're not allowed to do things that are dangerous to yourself or to others. And you really need to take care about yourself. It's also it's a positive command and a negative command, both. Like really important. Now, Chazal maybe told you, look, something is dangerous. If the dangerous change, so basically the halacha change, because the Torah is not the detail. The halacha is here is the idea. The idea is take care about yourself. Okay, and even if like nowadays. And that time they didn't have cars, for example. If you will do something that is very dangerous with your car, everyone will agree that you get the Torah prohibition of not taking care about your life. Correct? You know what I mean? When it goes to small details, it's a different thing. Like when it goes to, you know, some person will tell you this is dangerous, this is not so dangerous, it's a little bit dangerous. But if it's something you do understand it is, so it's a prohibition. We have another halacha. Now it goes to the difference of mystical, dangerous, and and like physical dangerous. Go ahead. Danger? Thank you. My wife said danger. I will learn English slowly, I hope. Bravo.
One needs to be careful not to eat meat and fish together because, and I'm not sure here, I'm translating, because it can cause or exacerbate a plague.
Yeah, but where is
Plague
it
like
in English?
sickness.
Yeah, sickness. In Hebrew it says tzarat. Tzarat you translate something different, but whatever. Some
Sarat is
kind
like
of
the leprosies, but
yeah, but
yeah.
it's a kind it's a kind of a disease, doesn't matter what. So basically, Chazal said, and here is dangerous. Sorry, here is interesting. What's the difference between the first halacha and the second halacha? Here, Chazal said, in the Gemara, that we're not allowed to eat meat and fish together, right? I think this is a famous halacha, right? Meir, this is right? Good. Meir is the mashgiach, was the mashgiach in our. We had a very tzaddik mashgiach back in the time, and now so Meir knows all the important things. So we're not allowed to eat. This is also halacha lemaaseh, and I will explain you more, and you will understand when it goes to doubts and so on, what the rabbi need to know behind. So in a simple way, you're not allowed to eat meat and fish together because Chazal said it's going to be danger. Now, this is brought down in the Gemara, brought down in a poskim, but also Chazal said we're not allowed to drink water that was exposed. Okay? And we do drink water that was exposed. So what's the difference? Some said that nowadays there is no problem both. Go to a doctor, ask the doctor if it's dangerous to eat meat and fish together. I think Des, your wife, she's there. Because if I remember correctly, I think she did say that she heard that some doctor said also today that is dangerous. Correct? I remember correctly.
The rabbi was asking, did you hear that it's dangerous to have meat and fish together?
No.
No.
No,
Okay, so I don't
heard.
remember correctly. Okay, good. Sorry.
Why?
No. Okay, good. Because what I thought that you told me that because all the people I asked and what I checked, I heard that nowadays nobody said there is a physical problem with that. So some poskim said is the same.
Why?
You should ask the doctor that the prohibition is to do stuff that are dangerous to yourself. Chazal said you're not allowed to drink exposed water, and Chazal also said you're not allowed to eat fish and meat together. Ask the doctor. If the doctor says there is no problem, so okay, there is no problem. If there is a problem, there is a problem. Okay, this is how, for example, the Magen Avraham was a big rabbi in Ashkenaz. He understood, and I'm talking about just Orthodox. Okay. But in fish and meat, I can say that most of the rabbis say you can drink water that was exposed, but you're not allowed to eat meat and fish that were cooked together because they understood like that. In water, Chazal said clearly what is the problem. And in meat and fish, some understood that the reason is not so clear. In the Gemara, I'm talking. And maybe Chazal has different reason why not to eat meat and fish, maybe even halachically ones, and just to try to convince the people to listen, they give you the reason that people care more. Meaning, let's say the doctor says it's dangerous, but there is also, they understood it also has different other halachically problems. Okay, that I don't know what. So when this is the case, so we say, if Chazal say we don't change. If we're not sure about all the reasons, they didn't say. So maybe it's offense, or if it's not clear for us if it's offense or just a concern. So in that case, in short, like the bottom line is, if you will ask if you're allowed to eat meat and fish together, it will be no. if you want to drink water that was exposed, the answer is yes. If it will be a doubt, a double doubt, and so on, we will not eat fish and meat together, but we will not even take it so severe, even as pig, for example, not like really physical danger. You got me? Like, we're not allowed because basically because of a danger, but we don't take it so severe because the old prohibition of eating meat and fish together is not so clear. So, for example, if you cook meat, do you allow to cook with the same pot in the same day fish after you clean it? What you do,
Yeah.
May, in
Yes.
your house, do you have
Yeah.
meat and dairy, or do you have meat, fishy, and dairy? I don't know how to call it even. Huh? May. Oh, you're not here. Everyone, you have just two, right? No, nobody here have three, right? So you do use. Mayor, I don't hear you, Mayor, and I didn't hear your voice. So, and your voice is.
Sorry. Fish, I think, is considered parv, right? Considered like parv. So you could cook in a meat pot or a milk pot. That's not a problem. You wash the pot and you can't cook it together with meat. But if you have a meat pot, you wash it properly and cook fish.
100%.
Mhm.
So where goes the danger? If it's dangerous to eat it together, so we just said before that we taking danger more severe than how we take Torah, even more than Torah prohibition. So if you will cook not kosher in your pot, you can't just wash it and cook after that a kosher thing. So how come we do it with fish and meat if it's under the laws of danger? Okay.
Is
So
it
the
is it
answer-
because we said we didn't really know if it was a danger? We didn't really know what the sages thought.
100%. When is a danger 100%, we take it much more severe. But
Yeah.
when is not clear, like here, but Chazal said, and we're not sure about all the reasons, we still keep it. But we don't take it like, even not like Torah prohibition, and definitely not like cyanide. How do you call it?
Cyanide.
Yeah. So like Meir explained, is exactly the bottom line of the halacha. We will not eat it together. We will not cook it together, but we will not go so far of like it's not kosher, and definitely not like it's like a really, 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 really danger. Be'ezrat Hashem. So if you haven't, just a second. So next week, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will go a little bit more details about that, about the difference between stuff that they are rabbinical danger, mystical danger, and halacha danger, like all those kind of things. For example, and all those kind of things are also halacha lemaaseh, meaning if you cut onion, not to leave it the all night, and so on, not to put food under the bed, and all those kind of details, and we'll explain more. But this shiur is very important to get you. This is the first step. This will be Be'ezrat Hashem next week, the second step for that. Do you have any question?
I just want. Sorry, go ahead.
In regards to the fish,
Okay, go ahead.
can you bake and roast it together? Meat and fish.
In English, Hebrew,
Baking and roasting.
meaning what? Like in the same oven?
Yes.
This is very, like, it's a hard question. I think some will tell you differently. So roasting, it's mean under manga, right? Litzlot, yeah. Okay, like on the barbecue, you mean like
No, oven. We're talking
oven.
baking and roasting in the oven, not barbecue or grill. No.
So
Can-
I can tell you what we're doing, but you will get different answers. It's not the end of the world. If it's close, we do it. If it's open, we don't do it at the same time. And meaning not if the oven is closed. If you put it in a, if it's closed, not open, like in something that it's closed, so it's not a problem. If it's open, it is a problem. You can do it, you know, one after the other when it's not has a really pieces of meat or fish, like it's like, you know, clean. Yeah, that's it.
No, but I think Esther's asking a different question. Esther, is your question, can you have something in the oven and something on top of the stove at the same time? Is that your question?
No, in the same,
It could
in
be
the same
it could be
oven.
that position as long as it is oven and fish and in the oven both together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
taking it as like
Separate
on the
dish.
same rack, but in different dishes.
Absorption of taste. Okay, so there's kind of a problem to that. But the next question would be like if you're cooking meat and fish in a pot. Okay, we're talking now here about not being baked. You're still allowed to eat it, right? You have just said it. So what's the difference between it's in the oven that is not allowed and the one that you cook it like in a pot?
You're not allowed to cook in a pot together. You're allowed one after the other.
In one pot,
After you clean.
you can cook in separate pots.
Previously Ben Yomo, right? You don't need to eat as Ben Yomo, kind of.
Esther, I'm checking if I understood you correctly. You're not allowed to cook in the same pot together at the same time. You're allowed to cook in your pot meat, clean it, and cook fish, no problem. You don't need to wait 24 hours. You don't need to have different vessels. And also the opposite, vice versa. Also in the oven, you're allowed to cook meat and after that to cook fish, or vice versa. The only problem is when you want to do it together. Bottom line, halachically, it's difference of many, many things. So if other, like, big oven is different, open ovens is different, and there is different halachot about that. In short, is a problem. If a rabbi told you on a specific case it's okay, follow it. It's not the end of the world. It's not like basar v'chalav. It's not like you know what. I think you understood me. But in the easy at the normal case of ovens, of our ovens, you not do it together. Just one after the oven if you really, really need, so you can do it in close. Meaning if you'll put it inside a pot and you'll put the pot in the oven, is no problem.
Okay.